All right, Social Studies Department, I am going to move this down and I am going to go to the Bells Departmental meeting. Of course, you saw the first video and what it entailed. Always go to Classwork to see what's posted for the October departmental meeting. All right, this will be the Zoom meeting. You will do that up on whatever day we choose to have the departmental meeting based on the Google form. This is the video kind of showing you what you needed to do, what we were going to do for the departmental meeting. And this is the Google form. So week 8 lesson plans, if you would take time out and open this, it will open it up individually. So I'm going to slide this down. I also told you to make sure that you go to the Alabama Exchange. You should have your own username and password. I have already. I'm going to click home. I'm going to click resources. I'm going to place Alabama Course of Study. I'm going to pick psychology, and I want you to pick whatever yours is. Mr. Matthews, you will be World History and U.S. History 1. Mr. Walker, you will be U.S. History 2. So I'm going to pick psychology because I have yet to do a lesson plan on it. And as you see, we have the standards, and simply because I have 18 and we're going on to week 8, I'm going to pick standard 8 as the lesson that I'm going to do. And so what I want to show you is this is the lesson plan. I went ahead and placed psychology here. So go ahead and put your subject in, and this needs to be done before the faculty meeting. Of course, your dates will be for next week. And so for that, we should have it done by Friday. So that week will be the week of October the 26th to the 30th. So I'm going to simply type that in, and you do so as well. October 26th, 2020. As a matter of fact, I think for your lesson plans, I think it already has 4 days for the week. Yes, yours do. So I'm going to do this for mine, and I'll come right back in a second. So the first thing you want to do, of course, go ahead and retitle your document with your name. I'm going to put CBEL. You all won't have to do this. You can retitle it when you send it to Mr. Brown. I'm going to change the date because I'm going to change the date to the 26th to the 30th because that will be the lesson plan for week 8. All right, so I'm going to put the 26th to 30th. And then I'm just going to put psychology here. And that's just me renaming it. All right, so I'm going to copy and paste. All right, make that 27. Make that 28. And 29th. Because we don't, come on Fridays, you won't have to do it. But for future reference, you might want to make sure that you include that because we will be back on Friday schedules when all of this is over. All right. So as you see, I would rather that Alabama Course of Study is here instead of daily outcome, but we're going to leave it as they left it for us. I like things to be differentiated, but we can leave it that color. So for the Alabama Course of Study, seeing that this will be week 8, when you go to the Alabama Insight tool or Alabama Learning Exchange tool, you will see this. And I'm going to pick week 8 because it's equivalent. Because I have 18, I'm just going to teach one standard a week. Make sure everything starts with your standard. And as you see, and I want you to do the same thing for your meeting. Go ahead and take the standard. And if you're going to be on this same standard, do a paste without formatting. And what I would do is I would probably take that off from being bold. And that's all of them to kind of differentiate what is what. And I would do so if I'm going to teach the same standard the entire week. I would go ahead and paste that in. All right. I'm going to see if it allows me to continue. I'm going to make sure that that's not bold. So go ahead and do that first so that you can get that done. Let me move this down. All right, and it's going to move on different pages. Don't worry. All you have to do is backspace and get it back right. Just make sure that when you copy and paste, it's not bold. All right, we can get rid of that for more spacing. So I am going to teach this entire standard the entire week. And so there we are. All right. Now, if I go back to the Alabama Exchange, you see that there are objectives. But if you click on this minus, it will give you a number of things. All right. And so you see evidence of student attainment, teacher vocabulary. You see there are plenty there. Knowledge, skills, not all of this you're going to use. All right. And so when I look back at this, I go back up to my day. And so because I can pick so many different objectives, most of the time I just pick the objective that's in the standard. All right. And so I will pick the first maybe 2 for the first day, and it may be or may not be in that order. And I'm going to paste it, and I'm just going to simply change it a little bit. All right. So daily outcome, some people put student will be able to. All right, they do the acronym for that. And of course, you would take the ing out. Identify unconditional stimuli. Whatever your standard is that you're going to work on, go ahead and put that there. I'm going to put a bullet here to kind of show them that that's what the objective is. And if I do this, back it up, I'll put my TSWBAT on it. Some people prefer students will be able to. Some people prefer I can statements. So I'm going to simply take the ing out, and we're going to focus on that. All right, so we got the first 3 columns. So we want to make sure. And now you can do several things here because I have so many different vocabulary. We can put a table in there just to put different vocabulary in that spot. All right, we can. All right, I'm going to undo that. But I'm going to go to Alabama Exchange, and as you see, under the Insight tool that I put the minus on, they already have vocabulary words already spelled out here. And so I can count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 days divided into 4 is 7 words. So I'm just going to pick the first 7. You may or may not teach this in the same order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just going to copy and paste those into my vocabulary. All right, just make sure that you take that back off bold. All right, I can just put them like this and put them in a row so I can save me some space. All right. Just placing my commas there and getting them all in. And extinction. All right, and I can say that that's my word. So my essential question probably needs to follow my daily outcome. And if not, I can do essential questions a number of ways. All right. So I see this one says, what describe the law of effect. Give me just a second, you guys. I apologize. That was a phone call coming in from one of my students. All right, so we got the vocabulary, and I think we were pretty much trying to get the vocabulary out of the way, and we moved on to question. All right, so I can take these and make these questions, of course, because as you see, there are questions. I can take that under knowledge. All right, students that know how. And on my lesson plans, I can just simply drop them. All right. And so I just change it up a little bit. What does it mean to learn? Question mark. What does it mean? See, it's going to straighten it out for me. To learn. And make sure I go ahead and take that off. I'm going to change the next to question. How stimuli. How does stimuli and consequences affect behavior and mental processes? All right, so a good piece of your lesson plan is already done if you follow those steps. Now, you do have the before, during, and after. And what I want you to do is just go back to your admit slip and exit slip under September. And if I choose to do the VKR sheet, I want you to remember how it looks. All right, and so you have all of this where you can put words in. Remember, I started putting words in. But If you would take the time out and go back to the Alabama Exchange, you can use all of these words on the teacher vocabulary, and you can set them as your words for that VKR sheet. In addition to that, what you also might want to do is if you're dealing with a standard, you have some vocabulary words in the standard. As you see, unconditional stimuli, they took some out of mine. So all of these would be vocabulary words. So look in your standard at some of those words you think your student might not know or might need to know, and use that for your VKR sheet. And so what I would do is for my strategy, I would just put VKR sheet. All right. And I'm going to take that out bold. So that's my strategy. So I'm going to do it during and after. All right. And if you're going to lecture for a little bit, put lecture on there. But so they don't think you're lecturing the whole day, just put mini lecture. If they're going to do Acellus, you might want to put Acellus video and lessons. It's up to you how you do that. All right, and that would be your strategy. Your purpose is basically, why are you doing that? Okay, and you just put that there. All right, so what is the teacher doing? And if you look at this sheet, if we're going to do this, it's going to tell you the teacher is basically going to explain the directions of what is high knowledge and what is low knowledge. And you're basically just going to explain to them what they're doing. And so under that, you're just going to write their statement. And under what is student doing, what you're going to write is what their first set of instructions. And remember, this is for the before strategy. So on before, they're basically just going to take that word and rate it before instruction. And they're going to tell what they think it means before instruction. So you will have what you need for both of these areas. When you get to the purpose and what is the teacher and student doing for the next section, basically, why are you having them to do this? Why are you having them watch the Acellus video and do the lessons? Why are you having them to go back on the VKR sheet and writing the correct definition? This would really be your after, the correct definition and your rating after. And so going back to that, you will basically put in there the purpose of your after, your strategy, you already have it. Now I'm going to take VKR sheet out there because we're going to make the correct definition a part of the VKR sheet for the after strategy. But you can do both. You can do mini lecture. You can have two on there if you want to. And a set of video lesson. So you come up with your what is teacher doing, what is student doing. While they're doing that, you be honest and tell what you're doing. All right. And you'll have that section filled out. It's a formative assessment, and so that you can have a clear understanding of what that is. Formative assessments are basically, and I'm going to, well, I thought I had it up here. Formative assessment it occurs regularly throughout a unit or chapter. Some examples of that can be in lessons polls, questionings can be a part of that. 1 minute paper, your admit slips, your exit slips, your VKR. So you can write that down. Summative assessment is basically your end of the chapter test. These are some examples of that. All right. And so if you have a test or a quiz in Acellus for that day, that would be summative. So if you don't have that, don't worry about those sections. Under materials and supply, of course, you're knowing that they need a Chromebook, an iPad, or a computer, and anything else to accomplish the lesson. The VKR sheet, you can put that under material if that's what you're going to use. For your accommodations and modification, this is for your resource students. Anything that you do, if you hit that minus sign in Acellus to bring their lessons down, that is a modification. All right. If you give them more time, that's a modification. If you have any homework assignment for them, you'll just place it there. And any notes that you need, like you stopped at a certain point or you will continue and you didn't get through with the lessons, you will put it there. So in a nutshell, that is how you do your lesson plan. So I want you to do your lesson plan for week 8. At a minimum, I want you to have this section here done, because most of it is explained in the video. You can do all, but go through each day. This is Monday, and you might want to put that in parentheses. It's up to you. All right. So that they will know, your administrators will know where you are in the lessons. Any gaps that you have, just simply go ahead and take it out that way. All right. This is your Tuesday and so forth and so on. So I just wanted to show you this video to make sure that you have what you need to do your lesson plan. All right. So everybody will know how to get them done. So I'm doing that and the video runs out. you pretty much have everything that you need. Okay. So let's work on that and have something